The first thing is that leukemia, ALL, is very heterogeneous. And currently we can characterize more than 20 different subtypes of leukemia. We do know that these subtypes actually impact prognosis, and these subtypes actually differ by race across different countries and across different ethnicities across the world. But exactly how this differs, we currently do not know yet. RNA sequencing is quite a new technology, and so it's not really available to most children across the world just as of yet. Right now, most of the genomic studies are actually performed in children in Western countries, UK, Europe, Germany, whereas the bulk of leukemia cases actually lie outside of the Western world, namely in Asia as well as Africa. So to actually extrapolate the genomic studies or treatment decisions based on genomics from the Western world to the rest of the world is something that we cannot really justify currently. So therefore, we sought to actually, number one, profile what the genomic diversity of ALL is in children of more diverse races. And number two, to see how this biology actually differs across various ancestries. And number three, we know that this biology actually impacts outcomes. And we wanted to see whether even after we adjust or after we take into account this biology, does ancestry still cause any difference in racial outcomes? We already know that based on the Western world, there is some difference in survival outcomes based on race. But exactly what causes it? Is it due to social economic status? Is it due to the difference in the biology? Or is it due to something more? Something that has not been studied yet. So this is one of the questions that we actually sought to identify and answer in our study. So number one here, what we found is that genetic ancestry heavily impacts the biology of ALL. So we characterized about 20 different subtypes of leukemia, and we found that about half of the subtypes actually differ significantly by race. This might account for the difference in outcomes. And I say so because when we looked at the differences in survival outcomes in the the event-free survival, the overall survival, or relapse across different races and ancestries, we found that there's actually quite a big difference. And even after we assessed multiple factors, including clinical features, presenting features, and the biological subtypes, ancestry still remain prognostic of outcomes. So therefore, genetic ancestry does have a big role in the biology. And even after accounting for this biology, ancestry still has a difference or plays a role in survival outcomes. So there is a need to further study why and how this ancestry impacts outcomes. Is it through the difference in toxicities? Is it through the difference in the way that they process or the way they react to chemo? Or is it just further differences in the biology that we have not yet discovered?